Good morning, everyone. I'm David Adams from the Board of Trustees of the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation. Welcome to our first service of 2024, first Sunday service, on a beautiful, kind of chilly morning, but it's nice and warm and welcoming in here, as it should be. So just a couple of announcements before we begin our service. Today is the first of a month-long series of focus groups led by members of our restructuring task force, and they're going to host a series of small group discussions to talk about our plan for restructuring our organization or reorganizing our structure, however you want to put it. So this is your chance to learn what the task force has been working on, contribute your own ideas and feedback, and today's group will start right after the, I think right after the service. Talk to Megan and we'll work that out. So be sure to join us for that. Please also mark your calendars for the last Sunday of the month, which is the 28th. When we will have our annual mid-year budget review. I know you're all just waiting with bated breath for that. The board and the finance team are going to be busy putting information together to share with you. So on the state of our finances, so be sure to be here for that. The board, by the way, is in conversation with a roofer. Soon that's going to begin, and so we'll have a new roof over our heads. And of course, there will be refreshments on the patio and here in the sanctuary after the service. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our lay leader for this morning, Catherine Rowlee.
Good morning, everybody. As you may notice, those of you who've met Kusala before, he is not here. He is sick with the flu, and we are blessed with a minister who can step in and save us so many times. So she wrote a sermon for us yesterday. It was her day off, so we are grateful and thankful. And Kusal will be here when he gets better. And sorry for those of you who came just for that. He's been a tradition here since I think like 2005 or 6, every single Sunday after New Year's. It's a long time. And this year, like a lot of people, you got him. So we'll begin our service with ringing of our bowls. We sound our bowl 3 times. We sound it once for those who came before, the Tongva and other native people of this land who called it home long ago, and for our ancestors who gave birth to this congregation over 76 years ago. And I'm really bad at this. We sound it once for those of us who are here and now, for ourselves, our members, our friends, our visitors, our staff, and our extended UU family who call this place their home and who may not be here today, but we hold them in our hearts. And we sound it once for those who will come, the future members and friends of this congregation. It's unpredictable, like many things. Our opening words are as follows. May our ears hear what nobody wants to hear. May our eyes see what everyone wants to hide. May our mouths speak our true faces and hearts. May our arms be branches that give shade and joy. Let us be a drizzle, a sudden storm. Let us get wet in the rain. Let us be the key, the hand in the door, the kick, the ball, the road. Let us arrive as children to this unique, huge, beautiful playground, the universe. And our opening song if you'd like to rise in body or spirit, and let's sing Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. And we light our chalice with these words. We light this chalice not because we must, but because we may. We light this chalice not because we have the truth, but because we each come bearing and seeking many truths. We light this chalice in connection across culture, distance, class, and language. We light this chalice to kindle our hearts and our minds as a beacon of light, hope, and justice in the world. And we also light our Calipian partner church, which our children will take. Okay. Push, right? This is this. Slide it up and push it up. Slide it up and push it. This is, look at that, you guys. It has no flame. The kindle is a flame. This has another magical flame. And with this, we will speak our covenant together, and then we'll sing Spirit of Life. And it has little stars on it if you want to stand. We've been sitting lately, but let's have a stand for these the song, and then we'll sit while we sing the children. Okay. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. And let's sing together. now some children someone would come and get their chalice, and then we'll sing you to your classes. Are you going to get it, Robert? Or? And just in time, it's now time for our Sunday offering, and this congregation chooses organizations to give to, and every offering on Sunday, we give half of the undesignated offerings to the organization of our choice. And to this month, for a whole month we do it, and this month we're doing Share the Plate with the 111 Hope Foundation, which Caitlin Salgado is going to come up and speak to us about right now.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Before I start, on behalf of 111 Hope Foundation, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for allowing us this very humbling opportunity. At the core of our endeavors, excuse me, lies an unwavering commitment to addressing the pressing issue of homelessness. We recognize the immense challenges that the unhoused community grapples with on a daily basis, and our mission goes beyond the provision of mere sustenance. It's about wrapping these individuals in the comforting embrace of compassion and consistency. Through our initiatives, we distribute not only food and water, we also provide blankets, socks, gloves, and care packages with hopes to eventually be able to provide needed items like tents and laundromat cards, so that way they can also have shelter and clean clothes. As a means to offer basic necessities with a glimmer of hope in their most challenging times, we also provide holiday care packages and, excuse me, as well as combs, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and other hygienic items. In recent weeks, many of you have donated blankets and jackets and sleeping bags to the Share the Warmth drive, and we could not be more grateful for your generous contributions, and truly can't thank you all enough, as most mornings the weather where we live is blistering cold and there's frost on our cars. Our dedication does not stop there. We stand in solidarity with our veterans, and we acknowledge the sacrifices that they've made for our country. In response, we've established programs designed to support them in their transition to or expansion of civilian life. By providing resources, we aim to empower our veterans as they navigate the complexities of the job market and day-to-day life, ensuring that they receive the excuse me, the recognition of assistance that they undeniably deserve. In tandem with these crucial efforts, our Boost the Youth program centers on nurturing the potential of the next generation with a focus on underserved youth. We firmly believe that the transformative power of education and mentorship, as well as being able to strive to eliminate barriers hindering a child's learning experience. From expressive arts and crafts and education materials for little ones, to journals and self-care books and mentors for the older youth, our aim is to be able to equip them for a future filled with promise and unlimited possibilities. Our work is driven by the heartfelt belief that seemingly small actions can ignite significant change. Hand in hand, we have the power to make a tangible difference in the lives of unhoused, veterans, and our underserved youth, three of the most vulnerable and underserved communities in the Southern California region. Join us in spreading hope and collectively building a community where everyone has the opportunity to not just survive, but to thrive. Thank you from the depths of our hearts for your unwavering support of 111 Hope Foundation. Together, it is our hope that we can forge a future steeped in compassion, empowerment, and a shared commitment to creating a positive change in the lives of those who need it most. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And the box, in case you didn't know, for the blankets is in the back. And other warm things too, right? Like big, warm, cozy things. Thank you. It's people like you that give us hope and make us carry on. Thank you so much. So at this time, let us come forward with your offerings for the church, for the 111 Hope Foundation, and for the Beta Center. We have a basket for the food contributions. Thank you to everybody. This is our time in the service to share the things that have been in our hearts with one another. I have a few things here that were put in our basket, and I don't know, let's see, I don't see anything in the chat box, but I don't have my glasses on. I don't think there is. Okay, but first of all, John Fisher, our congregant, which many of you know, has been in the hospital for 3 weeks now. He requested that we hold him in our hearts too. So those are some pretty serious things. Okay. Can I pick this up? Okay, and then there, somebody would, okay. Oh, okay. Huh. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So we're not putting stones in the water anymore, but we're going to honor the memory of Anthony Cessna Sr., who died suddenly and traumatically a year ago on the 5th of January. Okay, and that's from Jenny Parrott, who has been a member here, and they're having, you know, it's a hard time. And he was father to her children, and they're out to the youngest daughter. And so just prayers, she asked for prayers for them, for the strength as they go through, their grieving process. Yeah, grief. We collect it as we go, can't help it. So let us take a few moments to just be together and in meditation and prayer and positive thought. Let's take a few breaths and just sit quietly together, quieting our minds and our bodies, breathing in and conscious of our breath, grateful for the breaths that we take, and relaxing our bodies, feeling our hearts open as we send our thoughts and compassion out to those who have expressed concern and grief today. Let us send our conscious compassion out to those people who've expressed thoughts today. And let us know that there are many people who have not shared the grief and the worries that they hold, who also may be holding joys. Let us send our thoughts out to those people who we may know. Let us send our loving and compassionate thoughts out beyond the walls of the sanctuary and beyond the walls of our cozy home. Let us send them out to our hurting world so many places we can send our compassion and our hope and our prayers right now. There's so much suffering on this earth right now. So many people and animals and that are struggling. All forms of life, the earth is struggling. Let us send our strong, beautiful, loving compassion and our dedication to help and to be strong for those who need it whenever and wherever we can. Let us just take a breath and take a moment to send our loving and compassionate thoughts inward to ourselves who need it probably most of all. I know many of us have a tendency to be very hard on ourselves, even as we're being very good to everybody else. So take a moment and really send yourself some love and some positive affirmations, as you are valuable. We all are. And any fault that we may think we have, just part of the deal and not the whole deal. And be forgiving if that is what you need. Spirit of life and love, great mystery of many names, please hold us this day and in the troubling days to come. Help us to find the strength to show compassion. Help us to be brave and courageous in the moments of our deepest fears. May we find comfort in the love and care of both stranger and friend. May we heal and not harm. May we show each other the way towards more reason and deeper tolerance. May we grow a greater love for each other, for all of humanity, and for all of Earth's creatures. May we, who sit here together now, know peace. May all beings know peace. Let us take a few minutes to sit in silence as Lily plays for us. Such a balm for the soul. Our reading today is called Santiago by David White. And he wrote it for, I believe, his niece, who was making the journey on the Camino de Santiago in Spain. Is that right, how I said that? But it is applicable to us all, because we're all on a road and a journey and a path. And I think that's why so many people love this. The road seen, then not seen. The hillside hiding, then revealing the way you should take. The road dropping away from you as if leaving you to walk on thin air. Then catching you, holding you up when you thought you would fall. And the way forward, always in the end, the way that you followed. The way that you came, the way that carried you into your future, that brought you to this place. No matter that it sometimes took your promise from you, no matter that it always had to break your heart along the way, the sense of having walked from far inside of yourself out to the revelation, to have risked yourself for something that seemed to stand both inside you and far beyond you, and that called you back in the end to the only road you could follow, walking as you did in your rags of love and speaking in the voice that by night became a prayer for safe arrival, so that one day you realized that what you wanted had already happened, and long ago, and in the dwelling place in which you lived in before you began, and that every step along the way you had carried the heart and the mind and the promise that first set off with you and then drew you on, and that You were more marvelous in your simple wish to find a way than in the gilded roofs of any destination you could reach. As if, all along, you had the thought that the end point might be a city with golden towers and cheering crowds. And turning the corner at what you thought was the end of the road, you found just a simple reflection and a clear revelation beneath the face looking back, and beneath it, another invitation, all in one glimpse, like a person or a place you had sought forever, like a broad field of freedom that beckoned you beyond, like another life, and the road still stretching on. And with this, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, who I'm so grateful for.
Hi, everyone. Surprise! I thought about running out to buy a harmonica or something, but yeah, I don't want to try to impersonate Kusala in any way. So, but thank you all for the warm welcome. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Caitlin. I'd love to get the text of that, if I could, to share with the whole congregation, okay? So, you've worked very hard to get everything set in the best time frame to avoid creating stress. You've stuck to your plan, you got it done, and then your phone rings and everything changes. The plan that was going so well has suddenly disappeared into thin air. And while we're used to sharp curves and sudden shifts, there's that OMG moment when we panic and wonder, now what? Why did this have to happen? And how are we going to find the best way through this one? Well, if you're Catherine Rowlee, you remember to breathe, and you send off a text to the board president and the minister. But George and I returned late Friday. Oh, Jaryus, do you have that other picture? Hold on. There it is. Yeah, that's where we were Friday morning. So I'm okay. I'm just kind of, yeah. We returned late Friday from our wonderful visit to Monterey, and we're both refreshed after our trip. We feel ready for anything, but I don't dare say that very loud. There was an earthquake on Friday, and then Kusala with the flu. I'm not sure if he's joining us online. Yeah, hopefully he's asleep, but he may watch the recording, I don't know. But we send him also our best wishes and prayers and hopes for his complete healing. But I like the title of his message, the one that he had planned, giving meaning to the why and the how, because it's exactly what we do in these situations. We make meaning. We don't look to any dogmatic ideals, or we don't seek the wisdom of creeds. We make meaning that matters, and we give depth to our experience. It's what we're called to do by our fourth principle, and it's a part of our identity as Unitarian Universalist community, to be meaning makers. Also, Kusala's title is a wonderful segue to the topic of my message, when things don't go as planned. Well, hopefully he is receiving all the care that he needs to recover, and we can rebook him for another Sunday later in the month. He might be online with us, I hope so, and if so, we send out our best wishes and offer prayer for a quick and complete recovery. We wish you, Kusala, we wish you wellness, wholeness, patience, and peace. And maybe when he does visit, he will have found even deeper meaning in the how and the why, and have more to say than he had prepared before the flu sacked him. But we just never know. but we do trust. And we use what we've learned in the past to shape our days going onward. 2023 taught us, made us stronger, made us closer, so that after the mayhem and amongst all of the wondering, and as we hold this now moment and look at it, we hear the words credited to many different spiritual teachers who tell us, relax, nothing is in control. So we giggle, but we also know that these are very challenging times, as Caitlin was sharing. She has an intimate experience with that work. But we've been working out that muscle, whatever it's named, that strengthens our soul and gives our communal spirit greater endurance for many years now. I want to say since 2016, since I stepped foot in the building. Sorry, don't blame me, I wasn't. But there's an article published in November on Psychology Today that gives us 6 steps to trust for the times when things don't go as planned. The article's author is Susanna Nusinen, and she touches on some sound advice for us for traversing our troubles. Number 1, take deep breaths. Breathing can help you to manage your stress. It calms our nervous system, and it provides us with increased contentment. Conscious breathing slows our heart rate and opens pathways in our body to allow a different thought process, to allow new ideas and new pathways forward. We often don't realize how we're limiting ourselves by constricting our lungs during times of intense stress or panic. John can probably attest with his yoga teaching. But expecting a certain amount of shift to come into every situation keeps us ready for the changes that can come unexpectedly. Breathing deeply and consciously through all the what ifs keeps them in check. Number 2 is to remind yourself that you've done what you can. The author says, at the end of the day, all you can do is your best. And we might find after a time of reflection that there actually were things that we could have done to keep things on track, but accepting that we had done our best often requires that we cover ourselves with a huge dose of forgiveness and self-compassion. And just admit that we didn't have those good ideas when we needed them most. So don't judge yourself too harshly. Don't be too harsh on others. And remember step 1, and breathe. Step number 3 is to practice acceptance. Taking new paths and even in a whirlwind of change is an opportunity to practice acceptance of the truth that change is our everyday companion. The article promises that the release that comes from surrendering to what is brings a feeling of relief. We can agree that it doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that you see that you may not have had the power to make any positive impacts on the situation. And there's an unhealthy way of saying, it is what it is, or whatever. But an honest acceptance of a situation, even of a complete failure, can bring a release from regret or blame that, if allowed to stay inside and to fester, can bring harm or eventually illness. There's a way to admit sorrow over a situation without assuming any ownership or blame. We can accept and be sad about a set of circumstances without being held accountable for them. I'm so sorry that this happened. I'm so sorry that Kusala is sick, but we were not to blame for him catching the flu. So many people that we all know are coming down with it. Our own Brenda was very sick with it over the last couple of weeks. Number 4, put your creativity hat on. Nusanin says that just because something didn't go exactly as planned doesn't mean it didn't go well, and can be an incredible opportunity to think creatively. We could apply that favorite quote about hindsight being 20/20 here and welcome those surprise endings that actually work out better than we could have ever imagined. I know there was a film by this name that wasn't a box office hit, and we've posed the question several times during our work as the restructuring task force. But let's keep this question floating and ask it often. What if it works? That's creativity. Number 5, brainstorm ideas for how to deal with something like this in the future. The unexpected will always be popping into our plans. The author promises that if you're well prepared, you'll be better equipped to handle the unexpected. So while we might feel that suggestion is obvious, it's not something we actually do. We don't brainstorm ideas to grow or to overcome or prepare, but we sure are quick to blurt out our judgments and complaints about the troubles that come as unavoidable. Brainstorming positive outcomes sounds like a very affirming way through any mess. Maybe we should create a new term called, instead of brainstorming, let's call it heartstorming, and actually just fill the space, fill the situation with positive instead of woe is me and other difficult outcomes. The last of the suggestions for those times that things don't go as planned is number 6, trust that it will resolve one way or another. It might not ever be the way or the time frame that was originally planned, but surprising outcomes can bring the best resolve to any situation. We sometimes could never have imagined the final outcome without the difficulties and the confusion that brings them. So these 6 steps do bring a shift to the frustration that can mow us over. Breathe, forgive, accept, create, heartstorm, brainstorm, and trust. I'll be keeping that list close in hand and reminding myself to give them a try next time. And there will always be a next time that things don't go as planned. I also know that keeping ourselves centered through a dedication to our individual spiritual practice makes the outcome from any of these situations more vibrant and easier to attain and easier to traverse when we're centered. Let's be certain to be keeping our own spiritual lives and our spiritual practices engaged, nourished, and growing as we face the challenging and the changing world together. The article closed with the author offering a piece of encouraging wisdom from the writings of A.A. Milne, and I'll close with that same bit of wisdom as an affirmation for you today as we prepare for our focus groups that will start soon after the service closes. The words that Christopher Robin asked of his friend Winnie the Pooh, promise me that you'll always remember that you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. Blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Maggie. And like she said, it will happen again. But just know that if Reverend Maggie was still up in Monterey, there were other plans that could have happened. But thank you to Reverend Maggie, and it was just perfect as we're moving forward here. So it all worked just perfectly. And again, my heart is so full of gratitude because it enabled me to go off, and I was just about to leave to see my son and his family in Fallbrook. So I would have stayed home otherwise and gotten it together for you guys today. And Reverend Maggie made that possible for me. So that's my extra big thank you to her in this case. So no, we're always taken care of. We'll always take care of each other. And so let's stand and sing our closing song. It's Stand in Body or Spirit, and let's sing Guide My Feet. It's number 348 in the gray hymnal. And it will be up there. Okay, and I have some closing words, and then we will extinguish our chalice with our words in unison. But here's my closing words. As we weather the winds of change, may we have the wisdom to cherish moments of stillness. As we recollect times of challenge and pain, may we also remember the graceful blessings of our lives. As we look to future unknowns, may we have the boldness to trust that there is unimagined good yet to come. And I think Reverend Maggie is going to do the extinguishing and let us speak together. I think, are you going to put them? There they are. Okay. We hold the light of this chalice in our hearts as we extinguish it today. It will continue to burn brightly within us, helping to guide us on our path until we meet again. Blessed be, and thank you.